Hoyoverse, we need to talk. You and I, we need to have a good, long talk. What are you doing? No, seriously. What are you doing? How long has this song and dance with Genshin been going, Ever since the very first anniversary, you've just been making Genshin Impact players feel like we don't matter to you. And it's not that you've gotten better at it. Everyone just got complacent. Because for the most part, especially on the global side, we kind of realized you don't listen to us. So it doesn't matter how much we voice our discontent. But that wasn't enough for you, was it, Genshin? Genshin's side of Hoyoverse. I'm not going to blame Hoyoverse for this entirely. No. And I'm not going to blame the devs either. No. The people that share this blame are the people in charge of giving out rewards for Genshin Impact. 4.4 livestream. I did not watch it, but oh boy, you really messed up this time, Genshin. You had the nerve to say, as thanks for playing our game, it was either over this year or the past 3 years, we are giving you 3 extra wishes. And you tried to sound gracious. You tried to sound generous. You know how much 3 wishes is worth? I don't even think it's worth the $5 bundle. In fact, 3 wishes? You know, FGO, every time they're doing a little social media campaign, they usually give out 3 to 6 quartz. And that's not on any special days. Do you realize what 3 little extra wishes does? It does nothing. It gets you 3 black tassels. That's it. Just 3 3-star weapons that are absolutely useless to you. And you really pissed off the Chinese side this time, because they're the ones that are mad at you this time. Not global, although more content creators are speaking up about this and spreading awareness, and, well, I couldn't resist giving my own thoughts on this, because as someone who just became complacent to how Genshin is, this really didn't affect me that much. In fact, I'm kind of taking a break from Genshin as of now. But back to it. What were you thinking in saying that to show our gratitude, here's 3 extra wishes? As I told my friend, imagine that I was one of the most successful people in my field, and my partner is responsible for about half of that. And I told them, as like a Christmas bonus, as thanks for all your hard work, while I am making tens of thousands or millions of dollars, here's a $5 bonus. My employee in that hypothetical scenario would... they probably would have just left me. And that's basically what Genshin is doing right now. And let me say, Genshin, you've had this coming for a long, long time. Let me address something first. I know that Hoyoverse is probably rather scared of its Chinese fan base because, well, I've heard how some of the Chinese fan base can get crazy and even go after Hoyoverse devs or even have death threats. Now, I'm not negating any of that, but I do have one big question about that. If you are so scared of your Chinese fan base, or even global fan base, for instance, then why do you keep giving them such pitiful, pathetic awards that could just incite them so quickly to make them do that very thing you're afraid of? See, that doesn't make sense to me from a business standpoint. I mean, if you're so afraid of them, then why not reward them? You don't have to give them actual money, but you can give them free things in game. And as far as I know, it doesn't cost you a thing to just input it into the game. You could give people a free 5-star selector, and it would cost you nothing. Oh, but I know someone in charge may be going, well, then they won't roll on a certain character, right? No. People getting a free 5-star does not mean that they're going to skip out on other characters. In fact, as someone who constantly skips out on characters in Fate Grand Order, let me tell you what people do when they skip out on characters, but they're still playing the game. That gacha currency, it doesn't just vanish like you may fear. You know what it actually goes towards? It goes towards another character. So you would make your money there. It's just a little delayed. That's all it is. No, seriously. You guys would not lose any money just by giving out a free 5-star selector. I mean, let's take, for example, me. You give me a free 5-star selector, and I'm probably gonna go for not a character I super want, but a character that I've been wanting, but didn't want to go deep for, because while I want them, they're not worth it for a 5-star in my eyes. Let's take Sino, for example. I would enjoy having Sino, but I have a C2 Raiden Shogun. So I could finally have Sino, one of my favorite characters. Guess what? I was never planning to roll for him. Because, again, I already have someone that does his job as is. But I still want the character. But there's so many other characters I want more. Do you see what I'm saying? You guys would not lose anything just giving out a free 5-star selector. Now, let's get back to the whole skin selector thing. Why in the for China do you have it where you get a free skin selector if you buy a PS5? Just a PS5? Oh yeah, that totally doesn't cost more than the dang skin itself. Seriously, what were you guys thinking? I don't know. You guys were probably thinking the same crack when you thought that 3 wishes would be grateful. It really just boggles my mind, because let's actually get back to the whole, maybe you fear your Chinese player base or your global player base. If you fear them that much, then just give out free digital goods. A free 5-star, a free 5-star selector, a free 5-star weapon. I don't know, something to show that you value your players and you want them to feel happy. Because when they feel happy, they won't do these. There's no risk of these insane things happening. And no, I'm not justifying it by any means, but if I were in charge of Genshin, at least when it comes to mitigating the fear on my team, I would be doing everything to make sure that the most unstable fan base we have is happy. Because I don't want anyone's lives at risk. And let me also say, whoever is in charge of giving out these awards for Genshin, you have to be aware that if one side is far too unhappy, it could actually put your employees' lives at risk. That is on you. That is on you. Whoever you are that is in charge of doing Genshin awards. You have to consider the safety and security of your employees. And if you know that an unsatisfied fan base could risk yourself, your employees, their financial security, because, you know, hackers exist and such, that is on you. Whoever you are, that is on you, and you have failed your team. You have had over 3 years to learn this. And what are you seriously doing? Your company gets constantly hacked. People already know that there's so much to go over. Let's go over that Honkai Star Rail leak that happened around summer or so. I haven't checked it, but I know that it happened. Employees' information is on there. Screenshots of your company is in there. How do you let that happen? You are one of the most profitable gacha game companies out there right now, period. You make even more than FGO with all your gacha games combined. And you can't afford security that ensures the safety of your people, of the devs working on these games. How do you fail at that? You know what? I'll give you a small benefit of the doubt on that one. But what I won't give you benefit of the doubt for is the whole Genshin rewards thing. You saw it with the very first anniversary, that the Genshin player fan base will raid your Discord. They will post those dead Chi-Chi emotes everywhere. They will attack basically any app that has to do with Genshin. And did you not think that could possibly happen again? Well, you're learning a little too late now, because you're losing followers on your Chinese socials as I'm making this, and it is rather insane. You've lost like the equivalent of a fifth of, like, I think your equivalent of Chinese TikTok within a day. And I've already noticed that it appears you are trying to buy bot followers to recover your image. And people are also unfollowing brands that you've associated with, like Pizza Hut and such. Genshin, whoever is in charge of PR, whatever, why is it so hard for you to understand why so many gachas celebrate New Year's and anniversaries with such magnificent flair, especially anniversaries? Do you know what FGO does nearly every anniversary? Not only do we have, granted, randomized, but we get a 5-star for a very cheap premium bundle. And we also get a whole bunch of free Saint Courts. In fact, I think 2 years ago, not only did FGO give out so many free Saint Courts, but a quality of life update made it where you had so many Saint Courts, you could almost go to pity. That is 900 Saint Courts, or 30 multis, or something like that. 33 multis. That's not the point. The point is, you need to make both New Year's and anniversary mean something. And I know that you're probably going to try to lower the fires by just giving out maybe an extra 10 to 30 intertwined fates. That probably would have been okay if you did that originally. It's not great, but hey, if everyone saw that, then they would have been fine with it. And I haven't even addressed the whole free doctor ratio in Honkai's Star Rail. Again, Genshin team, I ask, what crack are you on? Honkai Star Rail is made by your same damn company. And it's getting so many quality of life updates. It's getting so many end game things. And we got a free 5-star. Just because we won a game award. Something nobody was expecting. Nobody thought we were going to get a free 5-star until maybe the anniversary. Honkai Star Rail is giving out so many good things. Did you not think that you could just continue doing the same? You're competing with your own games. And I know Honkai Impact 3rd, it gives out freebies like, man, you would not believe. Genshin, you can't just keep doing the same thing. Because people are going to get tired of it eventually. That's the reason I'm on a break. The last major thing we had for Genshin in terms of a huge quality of life update, besides fixing the daily comms, which I will give credit for that, is the addition of Dendro, which brought so many teams together and brought a new playstyle and all that jazz. Geo is still suffering, with the exception of the new recent 5-star Geo character, which, okay, she does big damage, I guess, but she still can't do any, like, really good elemental react. That's besides the point. I'm getting off topic. Genshin, you have got to change. You just have to change. Not only for the sake of the game being better, for promoting a much more healthy and loyal fan base, both on global and Chinese, but also for the sake of your employees. Because any time something like this happens, like the first anniversary or right now, that is your own employees that you are putting at risk over this. And that's just not right. The Genshin devs, they are not to blame for any of this, at least as far as I know. I don't know the inner workings of it. As far as I know, the Genshin devs are just following orders and trying to make the best game they can. It is the higher-ups that say, no, let's not add any new endgame. Let's not add major quality of life updates that make ascending characters far easier. I really thought things were going to change with Fontaine. Fontaine was some of the most fun I've had in Genshin in a while, but the magic went away, and now I'm on my break from the game. You have got to shape up. I know Genshin is probably... Genshin, we all know, Genshin is your cash cow that you put the money from Genshin into Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Impact 3rd. I'm aware of that. I can accept that as well. But you still need to treat this game better. You need to treat your player base better. Not just for them, but for your employees. The person in charge of giving out rewards since the first anniversary up till now, one of three things needs to happen. They either need to be fired and have someone else in charge of giving out the rewards. Let's look at the person in charge of either Honkai Impact 3rd or Honkai Star Rail. They know how to create a loyal fan base. The second option, they still stay, but they really need to listen to what's working with Honkai Star Rail and Honkai Impact 3rd. The third option, well, actually, it's kind of an add-on to the second. I'm doing this unscripted, all right? The third thing that could happen, the person still stays there. They're still in charge of doing the Genshin awards, but they not only learn from Honkai Impact 3rd, Honkai Star Rail, but they look at other gacha games and how they reward their players. Look at FGO. Probably has one of the worst gachas out there, but they never fumble the bag when it comes to anniversaries. And especially on the JP side, when they announce an event, they make an entire live stream like performance over it. I kind of envy that, because as an NA player, we just get small updates. I wish I could participate in the quizzes and such, but again, getting off track. And this isn't that hard. Genshin, it's not that hard. It doesn't cost you anything to just give out free digital goods to your players. It's not gonna hurt your bottom line. Because if people don't wish now when they get all this, they'll just save all of it for something later. It's just a delayed payment, that's all. You'll probably still get the same amount of money. I mean, Honkai Star Rail, we got a free Dr. Ratio. People that were planning to roll on Dr. Ratio, they're either going to go for more constellations now, or his light count, or they'll pass on him completely, but they'll use their jades and such in the next patches and such. It's not that hard. If this were a case of... If this were just a case of Genshin Impact is a bad game, but it's not. It has a beautiful world, beautiful characters, the storytelling keeps getting better and better. You've got all the hard parts. You've got all the hard parts done. The easy part is just giving out digital rewards to your players. Again, you don't have to pay them anything. You can just input a code and boom, everyone is happy. Doesn't cost you anything. It just makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense to me that whoever is in charge of Genshin's rewards since the first anniversary has either not been replaced or they haven't learned. And unfortunately, their failure is now putting not only themselves at risk, but probably other employees at risk. I would not be shocked to hear if some massive leak comes from someone hacking into Hoyoverse. I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, whoever is in charge of Genshin, that is on you. I originally wasn't planning to make this video, but one of my friends convinced me that I had a number of arguments to make beyond just, oh, I want a free 5-star or such. And I'm glad I decided to make this because I want the game to be better. And I also want to make sure that the company itself isn't under risk because someone is just so out of touch with what people want. That's another thing. You give out all these surveys, but you mainly just end up doing whatever you feel like. Genshin, you need to listen to your player base. You can't just keep doing the same thing, or otherwise people will leave or do worse with what's going on right now. Alright, that's the end of that. For all those watching, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I tend to stream a bunch of games on here and on Twitch. The link to my Twitch is down below. Now, if you don't mind me, I gotta do some random Hoyoverse footage because I need something with my model on top of it. Alright everyone, thank you so much for listening, and I hope Genshin learns from this. Because if not, it's just gonna get worse. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.